Yes, sir. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Good day, everyone. My name is Oluwashina Oyenero. Let me know if you can hear me, and I'll be sharing my screen from here. Moment, please. Okay. So, do you have my screen, please?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, and welcome to today's training. I will be talking on crafting engaging stage drama. I would like to talk about certain things here. I'll be talking about stage drama itself and the heart of scripts. So, stage drama. Uh, when you are on stage, you are acting. What you are actually doing is that you are portraying what is already pre-written. So, doing two things. You are talking and you are acting. So, what you are doing there is that you are acting a script. And in this regard, a stage drama is a form of live performance where actor brings a scripted narration into life. So in this regard, you already have a script in place and you are acting based on that script. Now, what is script writing? Script writing is the art of creating stories, dialogue, and actions that actors perform on stage. The implication of this is that you are not just on stage, you are on stage doing two things. You are providing a dialogue and you are acting it. So the art of putting all those things together, it is being termed as script writing. So script writing itself, it involves developing a narrative, characters, and structure that come to life through live performance. There are core elements of script writing. So when you are writing your script, there are certain things which are fundamentals and are meant to be on your script, either directly or indirectly. So those things include plot, character, dialogue, conflict, theme, setting, and stage direction. The core thing we'll be doing here today will center around these 7 core elements of script writing. And I'll be taking them one after the other. So I'm going to start with plots. A plot is the backbone of the script. Anything you're going to do is start with the plot description. So in this regard, I'm going to define plots as a sequence of events that unfold throughout the story. A well-structured plot consists of basically 5 elements. And those elements are exposition, rising action, the climax, falling action, and resolution. Let's take it one after the other. What is exposition? This is the introduction of the settings, the character, and the initial conflicts. On most occasions, this used to be the very first 2 scenes of the drama. In the first scene, we are trying to introduce a concept to you. And the second scene, we are trying to tell you that there is a problem. And that is exposition. So if at the exposition stage, you are not well grounded, you've already lost the whole scene from the beginning. The second thing I'll be talking about is the rising action. Rising action is the heart of building tensions and developing central conflicts. So we are trying to tell you that, oh, there is a problem. We are making it more feasible. This is the problem. And when that problem or issue reach a certain stage, probably a breakthrough is about to happen. That is when that tension reach the climax. And now, the event, there's going to be an event that occur in such a way that there's going to be a resolution to that problem. That is the following action. Now we've introduced the drama to you. We've let you know that there is a problem. We have created tension and let you know that, oh, this problem has reached a certain stage and now there is a resolution. So sorry, there is a kind of falling action that shows you that, oh, we now have a solution to the problem. And resolution is the conclusion of the whole story, how the conflict was resolved. So this is how you structure your plots. So take for instance, a plot about forgiveness. Let's assume you are writing a script that has to do with forgiveness. So a plot about forgiveness might follow the journey of a character who is struggling to forgive someone or forgive himself. So by the time that the issue reach a particular stage and the person eventually find peace, then we know that, oh, this is the climax. And when if the person find peace, then we know that, oh, the foreign action. And when the peace itself sets in, then we know that we have a kind of resolution. So I just told you a story, and you can build a script around it. Character. Character are essential to drive the story forward. What is the purpose of the plot you have and you don't have a very good character to portray it? So it's more or less nothing when you have a very good script, but the character does not really portray what the script is talking about. So each character has a role in developing the scripts by conveying the message. Basically, there are three types of characters. We have the protagonist, we have the antagonist, and we have the supporting character. Protagonist, and as the name implies, is the main character, while the antagonist can be a kind of opposition force. Yeah, an antagonist can be a kind of opposition force. And finally, we have the supporting character. These are the set of additional character that help develop the plot or protagonist journey. I have an example for you here. Let's take an example of a story around redemption. The protagonist might be someone trying to change their way, while the antagonist could be their internal struggle or external forces that is resisting their efforts. So all these, they have to be evidence in your scripts. Now, I want to talk about dialogue and conflict. What is dialogue? When you are on the stage, anything you are saying while on stage is called dialogue. They are the spoken word. Dialogue are your spoken word. It reveals the personality, emotion, and motivation.
Hello, someone is downstairs with yam.
So a very good dialogue should be natural in nature.
Collect her this thing. What's it called? She should send it to me.
Please, the facilitator, please.
So,
thank
you, ma'am. A very good dialogue should be as natural as possible, irrespective of what we have on the script. The actor should be able to deliver the dialogue as much as possible. And this is why whenever we are casting, we look into inner attribute of people. Who are the people that naturally have this kind of attributes that will be able to deliver that line of script? So that is why you see on most occasions, they have invited a guest artist to join the team. It's not because the in-house artists are not good enough, no, but because there is a special trait or attribute of the guest artist that is going to help in delivering the lines. That is why we always have guest artists. So, example is when you have two people on a scene and they are trying to converse. I have the examples here. You can follow. Conflicts is the next thing I would like to talk about. Conflict is the driving force of the drama. It creates tension, engage the audience, and make the story more compelling. I told you the first thing you are trying to do a kind of introduction, and the second thing you are trying to tell us that there is a problem. You are showing us what the problem is, and the problem is going to be surrounded by this type of conflict. We have the internal and the external conflicts. Okay, take for example, a character might be struggling with a decision to confront a friend, probably about a betrayal. Now, or face opposition from a societal, from a societal system. Now, the internal struggle, the internal conflict here is the personal struggle the character is having for confronting the person, probably fear. That's internal conflict. And the external conflict now, Mr. Lagbaja Mr. So is going to say this. So Mr. So is now a kind of external conflict. So all these elements have to be evident in our scripts. Theme, settings, and stage direction. What is the theme? The theme is the central message or lesson of the drama. Like I told you earlier, I use an example of forgiveness. You can center your script around forgiveness and any other topic. So it represents the underlying meaning of the story and often reflects universal human experience. That is theme. Setting on the other hand refers to the time and place where the story occurs. Take for instance, you might have a script that has to do with people in Europe. So if you are portraying that kind of story, you have to how does Europe look like? What do they do in Europe? We have to put all those attributes of that particular or geographical location into place to show that, this is Europe. Take for instance, you want to portray a story that happened probably in the 40s. So you might want to use some type of archaic system, some type of orthodox ways of doing things. Like instead of riding a car, you're using a camel or horse. So those are settings, and all these things make our storyline beautiful. Settings can be conveyed through the actor's action, dialogue, and minimal stage props. In stage drama, the setting needs to be clear, yet adaptable, as it is often limited by space and resources. Take for instance, I'm talking about the 40s. Probably there are type of houses that they used to use then, but now they're nowhere to be found. So if you are portraying that kind of story, we have to use props to represent all those things, and it has to reflect in our dialogue. So one other thing I would like to talk about is the stage direction. Stage direction are non-verbal in nature, and whenever you see you have a script with you, it's going to tell you how the actor is going to behave. So take for instance, in this example I have here, John stands center stage, looking out into the distance, his hands trembling as he ponders his next move. We are trying to tell you what John is going to do, his current state of mind, and what might actually be passing through. So these are the elements that has to be that has to be on your script whenever you are writing one. Now, I will move ahead up and talk about steps to script writing for stage drama. The most important thing is that you must have a purpose. Yeah, you have to clearly define your purpose. Before you start writing, define your purpose by asking yourself 2 questions. And the first question is, what message do I want to convey? Number 2, how will the audience connect with the story? If you are able to answer those 2 questions successfully, then you already have a purpose. And the next thing is going to be identifying your audience. Who are your audience? Understanding the audience for whom you are writing, like you have to consider their demographics, their preference, their cultural background to ensure that the story resonates effectively. You cannot be telling a French story to an Igbo community. They don't understand. They don't have an idea of what you are talking about. So the story has to be something that the audience will be able to relate with. Number 3, develop the story. Now, choose a story that conveys a meaningful message or explore an important theme. Whether it is original plot or a kind of adaptation from a story or from other story or something else, adaptation from a book or anything, just make sure that you develop it in such a way that it will be captivating. And please abstain from plagiarism as much as possible. Number 4, construct the plot. So one thing that is very important is that if you don't have a very good plot, you will find it difficult to have a clear structure. And in constructing your plot, there are 5 basic principles. Number 1 is introduction, the writing action, the climax, the following action, and the conclusion, which we already talked about in the previous slides. Now, number 5, write authentic dialogue. This can be tricky in such a way that if you don't understand the type of people you are writing the script for, you may miss the whole thing from the beginning. And if your dialogue is not clear enough, it will give the story, the story will be meaningless. So you have to write a kind of dialogue that fits the character personalities and overall tone of the drama. It is very, very important to avoid to use complex languages. So shy away completely from ambiguous word that can have diverse meaning. Otherwise, your audience will not be able to understand what you are talking about. So one other thing I will talk about is to incorporate theme. Like you have to naturally tell the story. You don't have to force it. Like integrate the theme naturally into your story. Do less of do less of preaching, but let your dialogue and action show exactly what you are trying to portray. So finally, on this slide, I'll be talking about using additional elements. For instance, you can choose to use some kind of lightning, sound effects, and music to give your message more meaning. Take, for instance, you can use soft music during reflection moments or a bright light to symbolize probably victory or triumph. Now, other than everything I've been talking about since, there are other advanced script writing techniques. The most important among them, there are a lot of them, but I will only be talking about 2. So first, I will be talking about character dictionary. Now, a character dictionary is a tool that you use to develop a well-rounded and complex character. It is essentially a detailed reference guide that will outline every key aspect of a character: personality, background, and motivations. Now, if you have a script and on your script you have, let's assume 3 characters, you are expected to provide the attributes of each character, their age, their gender, their personal traits, like what kind of behavior would they be exhibiting? What is going to be their relationship with other characters? So when you have this on your script, it will be very easy for anyone that is going to take on that role to know that, oh, this is exactly what the script writer wants me to be. This is the type of attribute I need to portray. So take for instance, you are meant to be a teacher. A teacher is expected to be calm, know how to teach, have a very good communication skill. So you cannot give the role of a teacher to a doctor. No, it may be conflicting. So this is one of the reasons why character dictionary is very, very important. Number 2, I'll be talking about dramatic irony. Here, this is a kind of situation whereby we assume that the audience know more than the actor himself. Sorry, no more than the character. So I have an example for you here. Let us assume we have a drama about a missing child. And while on stage, the child just came out and hid inside the closet. And the mother rushed out and like, oh, where is my child? Looking all around for the child. The audience already know where the child is, but they don't know where it's going to end. So you have created a kind of tense environment for the audience because they are going to naturally put themselves in the shoe of the mother. Like, oh, the mother doesn't even know where the child is. They will just be running scatter, despite the fact that the audience know where the child is. You have already set a kind of tension for the audience, which is going to give your story a very good narrative. So with that, you might use that to create a kind of suspense for your audience. There are common script challenges and their solution. Here today, I will be talking about only 3 of them because of our time. I will ensure that this slide and the manual I have is available to every one of us on the group chat. So the number 1 thing I want to talk about is pacing. And I will be talking about complex dialogue and exposition. Now, if scene drag too much or lose momentum, is going to disrupt the entire flow of the story. So in order to avoid this, keep it so simple and short. Like between each scene, there shouldn't be too much gap. With that, the audience will not lose interest. One other thing is the complex dialogue. Like be as simple as possible, be as natural as possible. The use of complex, the complex term is not acceptable in this regard. I understand the fact that you know big grammar, you are well grounded in English language, fine. But when you are writing your scripts, make it so simple in such a way that if a 5-year-old kid hold the scripts, he or she will be able to read and understand. Such a way that even when the character is delivering the script, the audience will be able to understand very well as well. So keep it simple and use clear language. Exposition. Avoid the use of long explanation. Let the dialogue and the action provide the whole thing for you. So other tips I would like to talk about is one of those things we've talked before. We've talked about before is that know your audience. Make sure you are relatable. Focus on the dialogue. Like, make sure there is a balance. Use minimal stage direction and a balanced story with entertainment. Your story doesn't have to be always problematic. Make sure there's a kind of comic relief in your story. And finally, before I go, I would like to define it again. Script writing for stage drama is a powerful way to communicate stories that resonate with an audience by crafting relatable character, authentic dialogue, engaging plots. One can create compelling drama that captivates and inspire. With attention to structure, theme, and pacing, your story will lay the foundation for a memorable and impactful performance. And finally, I'm going to give you my final thoughts. Please craft with intention, and your story will resonate with your audience. Thank you very much. Once again, my name is Oluwashino Oyenero. I'll stop sharing my screen now.
Thank you so much, sir. I really learned a lot today. Really, really appreciate you for this. Thank you. I pray that where it's coming from will never run dry. More and more of it. Please, can we please appreciate him and tell him thank you? I want a uniform thank you to him. Please, can we please unmute and say thank you, sir, to him? Thank
you, sir. Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, sir. God bless you.
Thank you.